All right. What's up, guys? Back at it again with another episode of Riot Reflections. I have no idea what episode this is. I haven't looked. I haven't checked. But actually, I can check real quick since we're here. Let's actually check. I can check really quick. What episode is it? I want to guess this is like episode. I want to guess episode 7, right? Close. This is episode 6, I think. All right, this is episode 6. We got Doki Doki music in the background. This game is pretty cool. It's down. All right, but today we're gonna be talking about I guess my opinions on religion, right? Because if you know me, I am I'm not the biggest fan of religion. I'll go into depth in this video as to why. But yeah, so make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube. Just gonna put that in the beginning. And yeah, let's get into it. Also, I guess also you can leave this on the background if you want. I probably won't be showing anything. It's mostly just gonna be me yapping like usual. But I can get right into it. So first, my opinions on fucking religion. I guess in my history of like, religious, right? I grew up a Muslim, right? Wasn't willingly, it was by force, kind of just say, hey, you're Muslim, so now you got to do all this shit with us. And I didn't want to really be a part of it, but yeah, they said no, you're doing it. So I had to go to religious school, learn the Quran, read the Quran and shit. I learned a few good lessons in those years until I was like 18. I learned, I guess, like good shit. But in general, my opinion on religion is overwhelmingly like I don't really like it. I don't think religion is inherently bad, right? I don't think it's inherently bad. I think it has, like, at least on paper, it has a lot of pros, like having a being able to have a community, being able to have like a it promotes community, it promotes unity, it promotes like all those positive aspects. Like it gives you a sense of family, even though y'all not like blood related or anything, but it gives you a sense of family, what I'm saying? Which I can root for that. Like that's some good shit to be pushing in this day and age, unity. But when it comes to practice is where that shit falls apart, which I feel like is more that than the first thing that I mentioned, right? Which is why I say it's not inherently bad. It's the way people utilize it, which again, I guess the best way for me to explain it is kind of like this, right? I would say it's kind of like how, at least similar to my opinion on guns, right? Guns aren't like bad, right? I don't think guns are inherently fucking bad. Because you can use a gun and you can save somebody, right? Like, someone's getting attacked, you have a gun on you, you shoot the fucking guy who's chasing them with a fucking knife, You save that guy was gonna die. Or that dude's running at you with a fucking knife, you shoot him, and you saved your own life, right? Guns can save you, but at the same time, if someone gets a hold of that gun and they have no good intentions, they're gonna run around shooting people. They can do a lot of damage in a very short amount of time. So that's my same, I guess, similar thinking towards religion, right? Religion on paper, what I'm saying? You could foster religion, foster positivity, foster, not judging people. You know what I'm saying? And that could be a very beautiful thing. But it's just that these days, bro. These days, it's like, These days, it's like everybody's just pushing hate through religion. And I guess for this video, I should say I'm probably mostly going to talk about Christianity because again, I live in America. You know, there's a Christian. You know, this place is basically the Christian place, right? Like a Christian nationalist society. So I'm gonna also be talking about Christian, but some of the shit can apply to all religions. Like I said about religions as a whole. Just in my opinion, I think being negative because of the way people go about it, right? But I guess for my examples and shit, I must be talking about Christianity because Christianity is just, again, it's the biggest religion, and I live in America, so Christianity is like rampant here. But yeah, it's just people go about it in such a way like they're just pushing hating people that are different from you. They're pushing just I don't know how to just word it. They're just making you hate people for being different, right? They're hating people for being different, for not having the same, for not believing in the same God that you have. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, this is why I just can't fuck with religion. It's too much agenda pushing, right? That's my whole thing. It's too much agenda pushing. People are trying to push agenda saying like, oh, it's, fucking people who do this, people that look like this are sinful and they need to go and repent and shit like that. Or these people that like these people, they need to go repent because there's something wrong with them. It's it's demoralizing because if we actually had people that actually use religion for good, you know what I'm saying, to actually promote like positive shit. And I know there's fucking churches and shit in America that obviously try to push positive messages and positive vibes, right? And I can appreciate that shit, but it's not enough, dog. It's not enough, which is why I say it's mostly just a lot of these places pushing just negative shit. To hate your neighbor because your neighbor likes men, so you need to hate your fucking neighbor. Or I don't know, he fucking eats a certain animal, so now you need to hate your fucking neighbor, right? He's a sinner and you need to fucking hate him or some shit. Or he's impure or he's unclean because he does this shit. I'm like, dog, like, can we not? Right? Oh, I'm starting to ramble. Try not to fucking ramble. But that's why I just really can't, I guess that's why I have like a mostly negative view of religion. I think it's fun to be spiritual because again, when you're spiritual, right? When you're spiritual, like I'm not the most spiritual person. I'm a tad spiritual, but like when you're spiritual, you know what I'm saying? Again, it's you going off of your own empathy, going off of your own morality. You know what I'm saying? It's not you following some book that somebody else made, because that's the thing, right? And that goes for any religion, right? Someone could go in a book, right? Because they say, because every religion claims like, oh, our book has never been changed. It's never been, tweaked. It's all been the same since the very beginning. And I'm like, that's not fucking true. They change words and shit all the time. Some people might do it. Some people might change words, to exclude certain people, to push their fucking, to push their hatred. Again, the Bible being one of those shits. There's been a lot of shit, tweaked and changed in the Bible, which I would be guessing it's because certain people want to push certain agendas through the religion. Like the man shall not sleep with child shit, or the man shall not sleep with man, even though it's man shall not sleep with child. Not talking about being gay. It's talking about pedophilia. Like you're saying you should not be sleeping with a fucking child, any relation. You know what I'm saying? Or man should not sleep with a boy. That's what it means. But you see, that's just one example. That's just one example of them like changing words in the book, to fit whatever agenda they want to push. Like they hate gay people, so let me change this word real quick. That way we start hating on gay people. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. Yeah, let me check my fucking notes. What's the next shit I'm supposed to talk about? Because I got my trusty dusty what's it called? My trusty dusty I guess little organizer shit. Don't go too off topic. Let's see. And I guess this ties into also like, I guess, you know, it's also kind of intersects with like, you know, the LGBTQ community, which I'm gonna get to this right now because it kind of correlates with it, right? So a lot of religions, like especially, you know, Islam and Christianity, are both, I guess, kind of guilty of this, right? Where or they say like, you know, being gay or, you know, or being a part of the LGBTQ community is a sin. Being or at least when I used to be a Muslim, I'm pretty sure it did say that in you know, in the Quran, or at least in the teachings that I was taught, you know, that being gay is, you know, or being with another man is sinful. And I know definitely in the Bible, you know, or at least no, it didn't definitely say in the Bible, but you know, according to what the book says, it says that, you know, being gay is a sin and whatnot. And my thing is this: here's my issue, right? A lot of people try to push this. They try to push this idea that being gay, you know, is sinful and all that. But I'm like, where's the evidence? Where is the evidence? You know what I'm saying? Where's the fucking evidence? You want to say, you know, gay people aren't clean, or that, you know, or that they're evil, or that, you know, they're all this and that. But I'm like, where's the evidence? Right? Because the thing is, when you say, you know, something is sinful, you're saying it's inherently bad. Like stealing, for example. Stealing is sinful, which, you know, again, would make sense because obviously you shouldn't steal from you shouldn't steal from people. You know, you shouldn't steal from anybody. I'm pretty sure we can all, you know, universally agree on that. That's a cold ass take. But, you know, being gay, it doesn't harm anybody. You know, me, if I want to fucking go, you know, or if I have affection towards another dude in a romantic, you know, way, what damage is that doing? Especially if we're two consenting adults. How is that harmful? You know, because at least that's my thought process about it. If something is sinful, that means it's harmful, right? Like alcoholism, that's sinful. That will definitely hurt you if you just chug alcohol every day, right? That will obviously, you know, lead to very negative shit happen to you, right? You know what I'm saying? You're poisoning your body. But being gay, you know, having affection for your male partner that is an adult and that, you know, you both, you know, consented to, you know, having a relationship, how is that sinful? It doesn't make any sense. Which is why, you know, I try to push, you know, I'm always pushing for free thinking, bro. They just go off the book. They just read the book and say, oh, it says here that being gay is sinful, so therefore being gay is sinful. All right. They don't question anything. They don't question, you know, you know, let me think about this a little bit deeper, you know? Let me think about this a little bit deeper. How is this sinful? Are gay people, you know, fucking inherently evil? No. Are gay people like trying to go around, or you know, is it exclusively gay people going around trying to hurt people and shit? No. Oh, so that's interesting. So why is it sinful? They don't have these type of questions. They're just programmed to just read it and would take whatever the fuck, you know, it says and just run with it. They don't think. You know, and that's very, you know, that's not good. It's harmful. But tying this to my next point, which I've dabbled in before. Now, if you're you know, usually a part of my streams, right? If you're usually a part of my streams, I'm not gonna put anybody on blast. But there's one person particularly who I've had a discussion with about this, you know, I guess topic, right? When it comes to, you know, like gayness or LGBTQ, and you know, how do I word this? I guess like how you know, religious people tend to, you know, not hate, you know, gay people, or they don't hate sinners. Like, you know the saying, like, hate the sin, not the sinner, is it? Right? That's something like that. Something along those lines. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know? And they say like, oh, we don't hate you, you know, we just don't agree with you. If you know, so that I'm not gonna put them on blast. But I want to address that, because this is an excuse. This is an excuse that has, you know, this is an excuse that has like been used by like pretty much damn near every, you know, religious, I guess, like, you know, or at least anybody of any religion has probably mostly used this shit, where they say like, I don't hate you, you know, I don't hate you, you know, I just don't agree with you. Now, I'm gonna say like that when you say that type of stuff, right? When you go and say that type of stuff, it's even though like you think you're being nice, you know, you think you're trying to be nice, but low key it's underhanded. It is an underhanded comment, right? It's an underhanded comment, and I'll explain why. You know, it's a complicated explanation. I'm gonna try to, like, you know, make it as clear as possible. I don't know if I'll, you know, be able to do it clear as possible. I'm gonna try my best. But it's because you're basically saying that you're basically saying damn, how the fuck do I word this shit? Like, in my head, I understand why it is, but it's like putting it into words. But give me a second to think. I gotta figure out how to word this shit. Okay, okay. So it's kind of like this, right? It's kind of like saying like you're saying that, you know, God damn it. This is so hard to fucking explain. Oh. You're basically saying you're saying that their existence is morally wrong. That's the easiest way I could put it. When you're saying that, oh, you know, I don't hate you, you know, I don't hate you, I just believe that, you know, I just believe that you know, your existence is wrong, or that it's morally defective, right? You know what I'm saying? It's basically saying like, yeah, you know, you're sinful, you know, yeah, you know, I don't really agree with your existence, but you're still okay to me. Like, you see how that's a little, like, you see how that's a little bit, you know, that stings a little bit. You see how a little bit underhanded that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if there's any other way I could really word it. So I'm trying to see if there's a more, you know. But basically, it's like you're invalidating their humanity, right? That's basically what you're doing. You're saying that their existence is, you know, inherently sinful, inherently wrong in some sort of way. Which, again, someone being gay, being queer, being trans is not inherently wrong. It's not sinful. There's nothing wrong with them. You're posing it as if there's something wrong with them. That's what it is. You're posing as if there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the best way to put it. If I could find a better way, really word it. But it's basically you're pushing like you're pushing you're pushing the message that they're unclean or that they're sinful without any logic backing it up. You're kind of just saying, oh well, God said you're clean and unsinful, so therefore you're clean and sinful. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. I'm sorry if it's if it's hard to understand. I'm sorry, but it's complicated. Like I get it. The thing is, I get it. I get why, but putting it into words is so complicated. You know. I don't know. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Because let me see if there's a better way to word this shit. Hold on. I actually got to figure this out. I'm gonna figure this out. Hold on. This is very important. This is very important. You know. Let me see. I need like an AI to like word it for me. That's all I need. I just need him to word it properly. Let me see. Disagree but love. Disagree but love you implies ongoing scrutiny. Your pride, flags, relationships, or joy becomes tolerated sins. Inviting intervention, prayers, sermons, votes against rights, and emotional blackmail, change or risk. What? Swapping evidence for God's word. Real love respects. But yeah, see, real love respects choices without strings. This is control masquerading as compassion. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you really, like your friend, you'll love your friend without strings attached. Because the thing it says, let me see, it says, conditional judgment. That's what it's called. It's conditional judgment. Because it says it's not blanket kindness. It's you're okay if you suppress who you are, repent, and align with my beliefs. This hurts because it reduces someone's core self to a flaw needing divine repair, like saying I love you despite your gayness. Exactly. He's just saying, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like, I love you despite your gayness. No, that's what I'm saying. It's underhanded. You can get it. You guys get it. But moving on, because I feel like I've been talking about this for too long. Another thing is religion kills critical thinking, right? I feel like it definitely kills critical thinking, because again, most religion is faith, right? It's faith. It's based on how you feel. You know what I'm saying? It's based on feelings, bro. And it's like, again, me personally, if you know me, I'm a very logic-oriented person. I don't deal with feels or stuff like that. I care about getting to the facts of the matter, the truth of it. You know what I'm saying? But religion is mostly just faith. But you can see how that's especially when they crack down on critical thinking, or they don't really promote critical thinking for yourself. It's problematic. It's problematic. That's literally how you create cults, bro. That's literally how you create cults. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get, these cults that just go out, not thinking and saying, thinking that, LGBTQ people are inherently evil, or that, they're groomers and shit like that. That's how you get that shit to happen, right? Because when you get these people, when you condition these people to like not, ask questions, not question shit, and you're having these thoughts based on emotion and feelings and not based on facts, that's what it creates. It creates a cult. And you have these cults going around, thinking innocent people, because they're not like them, right? Or because they're different, that they're fucking evil. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. It's, what I'm saying? That's exactly why, and that just plays into, exactly why I just really just, religion and practice is just, you know what I'm saying? It kind of just fucks up the whole thing. On paper, it's, it does sound good. If humans were actually, if most of us were well intentioned with religion, but sad thing is that a lot of us just, we're not really well intentioned when it comes to that. We take advantage of religion to push our own, to push negativity, to push our own ideologies and shit. But I feel like a lot of people who used to be, gay or queer or anything, that, turn to religion, I feel like it's, and say like, oh, religion saved me. I feel like, I don't know how to word this. Let me think. I don't know. I just feel like one, I feel like they just resort to religion is because they feel shame and guilt for something that they shouldn't feel shame for, right? Like, if they sucked a few people's dicks and whatnot, just hypothetically for this example, right? If they went around, and they, enjoyed sucking people's dicks, or, I don't know, giving hand jobs or getting fucked or whatever the hell, right? If they did that, and then all of a sudden, they felt guilty or they felt shame for what they did, and then they turn to, I don't know, Islam, or they turn to Christianity or whatnot, I don't know. I don't feel like it. I feel like it's just. I feel like you just feel shame somewhere where you shouldn't feel shame. Like, obviously, you shouldn't go around just fucking, I mean, again, it's your life, but me personally, I wouldn't go around just, fucking people and whatnot. I personally wouldn't do that, because, to me, that's just, that's wrong in my opinion. Or at least it's not very smart. Going around just fucking people left and right. But, there's nothing wrong, liking dick as a dude, or even, liking women as a woman. There's nothing shameful about it. And then they turn to religion. And I feel like they just try to, what's the word? They try to, like, I guess, blind themselves, or try to, like, distract themselves with religion, distract them from, I guess, the quote unquote gay thoughts, right? Like, they go like, oh, I don't know, this is an example, like, they go like, oh, Jesus, please forgive me, I've been a sinner, I was, sleeping with I don't know, I was sucking dick and shit, fucking dudes, getting hand jobs and whatnot, right? And they basically obsess themselves with the religion, right? They obsess themselves with the religion, you know, to the point which, you know, that's how you become those crazy, you know, religious people, bro. They obsess themselves so much with it to try to, like, you know, get rid of that shame they felt from, you know, being gay. And it doesn't work. You know, you live a miserable ass life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you live a miserable life. You're trying to suppress it. You're trying to suppress it by, you know, distracting yourself or obsessing yourself with religion. You know, trying to obsess yourself with, you know, Jesus, you know, with the Bible, with the scriptures and all that. You know, to the point where it's like they even try to prove to others that they're, you know, you try to prove to others that, oh yeah, being gay, yeah, it's sinful, it's evil, you know. And it's not evil. There's other people that are gay that are living, you know, you know, very comfortable lives that, you know, are with their significant other or their boyfriend or girlfriend, and, you know, they're having a grand old time. You know, they're having a good life. You know, but that's honestly what I think. I think they're just trying to bog down the inner feelings with and try to, you know, numb it with religion, hoping that, you know, it makes the shame or makes their thought, you know, the gay thoughts or the shame go away. But it just doesn't work. Because the thing is, right? Let me just use me as an example, right? If I let's just say, like, I went around, right, and I went around sleeping with women, right? If I went around sleeping with women, or let's just say I was really just, you know, having sex a lot, you know, like every other day I'm having sex with women and whatnot, and then one day I felt like really guilty. I felt really guilty about it and whatnot, and then I'm just like, oh well, you know, I'm gonna go towards, you know, Islam now, and, you know, I'm no longer, you know, I don't know, and like I guess I'm no longer straight. Like I don't want to, like I don't want to fuck women anymore. You know, and then I'm obsessing myself with, you know, Islam, trying to bog it down. But I'm like, dog, it doesn't change you. Like me saying I'm not straight, it doesn't make you not straight. You can't, because again, I don't think you really can choose, you know, to be gay or straight. But I think even if you say, like, even if somebody says, oh, I'm not straight, you know, I'm no longer straight, or I'm no longer gay, you're still straight. You just are abstaining from, you know, fucking the opposite sex. Same thing, vice versa for being gay, right? If you say I'm no longer gay, it doesn't mean you're not longer. It doesn't mean you're not gay anymore. You're just abstaining, right? You have attraction. You have attraction to, you know, if you, like, if I initially had attraction to women, and all of a sudden I say I'm not gay and I'm not straight anymore, right? I still find attraction to women. I'm just abstaining. That doesn't make me not straight. I'm still straight. I'm personally choosing to abstain from, like, you know, having sex with women. And it goes vice versa if I was gay. You know what I'm saying? It would have made me not gay. I would be like, oh, I'm no longer gay anymore. Since now I'm a part of Islam now, I'm no longer gay. No, you're still gay. You're just abstaining. You can't choose. You can't just flip a switch and be like, oh, no longer straight anymore. Now I'm gay. Oh, no longer gay anymore. Now I'm straight. I don't think you really get to choose that shit. We don't really get to choose it. I don't think it's a choice. You know, a lot of people think, you know, being gay or straight's a choice. I don't think it's a choice. You know what I'm saying? It's either you know, like I just know I'm straight, right? When I grew up, I just knew I was straight. I never had any attraction to dudes at all in my entire life, not ever. You know? But I think that's it. This video is like 35 minutes long. It's almost 40 minutes long. Let me see if there's anything else I missed. I've been rambling for a while. I think I got everything. But I guess just to summarize it up, like, yeah, that's why I'm very, I guess, against religion. I'm very, you know, rather than, you know, following the morals based off of a book, I'd rather follow my morals and empathy based off of my own experience. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go off of my own experience. Because the thing is, you know, you read that book, like I said, there's other people that just put little seeds of, you know, their own agendas into the book to manipulate people, to make them hate certain people. And you know, I don't know. That's why I'm very hesitant about religion. Because same thing is, it can happen to Islam. It can happen to any religion, bro. Because the thing is, it don't matter what religion you are. There's people that hate certain people and that want to, you know, push certain negative shit if they could through their religious book. So, you know, it can happen to any religion. But that's why I'd rather go off my own. I'd rather discern my own shit. If I know gay people aren't hurting people, then I know they're not sinful. I don't give a fuck, you know, what God says. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what God says, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. You know, people, again, they throw away their brain and go like, well, God has to have a good reason. I'm like, no, if you know in your fucking heart and you know in your, you know, with your brain that that gay people, they do not cause any fucking harm, again, you're deluding yourself. That's what I'm saying. Use your brain. You know, don't just use your brain and then go, well, it's God, so he has to have a good reason. No, use your fucking brain. Like, holy shit. It's frustrating. It's really fucking frustrating. Anyways, this was 20 minutes long. I guess I'll wrap it up here. But yeah, man. Again, if you're religious, no hate. Don't hate against you. You know, if anybody is religious, I don't have any hate towards you. I just want y'all to use your brains, all right? That's all I'm asking. Use your brains. Don't just blindly read the book. You know, read your religious book and then throw your brain out the window like, oh, God said people who eat pizza are sinners, and then, or people who eat cheese are sinners, and then you just start fucking, you know, hating on people who ate cheese and call them evil and shit. Like, don't do that shit, bro. Use your brain. God gave you a brain for a reason, right? Use your brain. That's all I'm saying, bro. Don't just blindly follow it. Be a free thinker. You could be religious and also still use your fucking brain. It's not mutually exclusive. But oh man, I guess I will leave you out with that. Hopefully you enjoyed my little ramble session, and the Doki Doki Literature Club music in the background, because it's very calming. Again, I have no hate towards anybody religious. I just ask that you use your fucking brain, please. No hate at all. And yeah, make sure you spread kindness, spread positivity. And make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed my rambling. Subscribe to my channel. I also play video games and shit, while also doing this occasionally. So yeah, that being said, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.